Hi everybody, this is Rhys Barber from Audiology Associates. Thank you very much for watching our earwax removal video today. We've got one patient in this video coming in feeling very blocked up. You can see the ear canal is very full of wax here. We've got the standard size Zollner tube in here. Guys, if you've never seen one of our videos before, the Zollner tube is a suction tube that we use. It's the wider of the suction tubes, which allows us to get a good grip and suction any looser bits of material in as well. If it is your first time and you've got a question, by all means pop them into the comment section below. We love getting your questions. The community are pretty good at answering most of them, in fairness, but if there's anything on there that hasn't been answered, I'll go back in and answer it as well. So what you can see here, we've got a good grip using that standard size Zollner tube there. It's loosening the wax up a little bit really nicely. We've got quite prominent cilia at the entrance to the canal there, which is just hindering the view just ever so slightly until we can move that a little bit further in. But you can see as we're teasing this apart and holding onto the wax and wiggling it back and forth, it's just breaking this apart into smaller chunks, which are coming away quite nicely. They're looking a little bit dry and sort of slightly sticky in places as well. So we're going to loosen from around the outside edge here. Obviously we can't get the wax out unless we loosen it from the canal wall first of all, because we're just pulling it against ourselves. So we tend to loosen the edges first, free up that plug, and then start to remove that whole thing if we can. You can see how sticky this wax is. It's almost a toffee type wax, so a very tacky substance, this one. Not the easiest to remove with suction sometimes, just because the suction tube tends to pull this softer material into it, but the sticky nature of the wax tends to block the suction rather than it flow all the way through to the tank itself. But we're just really trying to loosen this up. Because the cilia are quite prominent, I'm holding back on using any olive oil in here at the moment, just because it would coat those cilia. Obviously if we get desperate, we may need to pop that in. So you can see we're just loosening this away now, looking for any smaller sort of movement to the wax to indicate that it's starting to loosen from the canal walls. There we are, you can see it starting to come forwards. You can see the wax a lot more prominently there now, but we've got wedged in the outer part of the ear canal. So we're going to use the Jobson horn now. This is a little spoon type device we can use to take wax away. So we're just going to nip over the top of that and just roll this forwards. But as you can see, it's a really odd consistency wax. We've got this, I've referred to it in the past as armadillo wax, if anyone remembers the Dime advert. It's hard on the outside, soft in the middle. So what you've got here is, as you're pulling this through with the Jobson horn, it's just clearing a trench in the center, but it's not getting rid of that harder section around the outside edge. So we're going to go back in now with the standard size Zollner tube, lifting this harder section from around the outside edge of the canal wall there. There we are, you can just start to see it moving forwards. Got a good wiggle on this now. There we are, and a good plug starting to move forwards there. You can just see the whole plug starting to move. As we pull this away, it's taken that next section and just brought that towards the outer part of the ear canal as well. So we'll go in and grab that. You can see that kind of harder material around the outside edge now, and that central section got taken away with the Jobson horn there as well. Guys, if you've never come across one of our videos before, we post new earwax removal videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 9 PM UK time. So if you're not already subscribed, then please consider subscribing. Hit the bell to get notifications when we all upload a new video as well. So you can see we've got this kind of wax debris here to the outer part of the ear canal. It's really messy stuff. It's moving, but it's still quite tacky and sticky, so it's sticking to the canal wall on the way out as well. A lot of wiggling involved in this to get this out. You can see we're shifting position with the Zollner tube as well to try and get behind it to bring that section forwards. Kind of wrestling with it almost to get this out of the ear canal here. There we are, you can see that plug's come away. Nice big thick plug of wax come away there. Much drier section further in, really close to the eardrum. So we don't want to put pressure on this and accidentally push it against the drum. So we hold away slightly, there we are, and let the wax do the work and jump towards the suction. And then we can take that piece away. There we go. You see a few little hairs embedded in this as well. Now, if you've got sticky wax and hairs, it really binds together and forms quite a strong substance, and it's really difficult to break that down. And that's what you can see going on here. A little bit of loose wax and skin material there to the right side. That's wax on the top. There's a dry piece of skin underneath, which is still attached to the canal wall, which is why this is kind of flicked up off the canal wall, but not really going anywhere. So we've just shifted position to the top of the wax, Good suction grip, that's come away nicely. Good eardrum, very pearlescent and shiny. Right side of the eardrum because the hammer bone points up to the right and you've got the light reflex on the right hand side there. But this is the second ear now. So what you can see here, we've got this very thick material here as well. So we're aiming for the bottom, which is where we're going to likely to find the harder wax that we can get a good grip on there. And as we are lifting this up, we're looking to try and kind of wiggle this out if we can, looking for any looser sections there. You can see it's quite at home in this ear though. It doesn't really want to budge, but it is just starting to move a little bit of looser material on the bottom, going up to the right side there. Let's go in now with the Jobson horn. This is a great piece of wax for the Jobson horn. It depends if it's solid all the way through, unless we've got this really kind of sludgy material in the middle, which is what we had on the previous ear, which is exactly what we've got here, unfortunately. So as we pulled this forwards, it took that harder section off the front and took a gouge out of the center of the wax there. But you can see now, if we go back now to that looser material, because we've taken this groove, this gully out of the center of the wax, it means that when we lift the wax, the harder sections around the outside, it's got a bit of room to maneuver. So it means we can peel it away a little bit more effectively. It's a good technique to use if you've got this kind of tough outer section but soft section of central section of wax there. So we've got this little piece come away from the right side. You can see there's a lot more in here though. Just trying to aim for that harder section at the bottom again. It's tough old stuff. It's really kind of struggling to move this bottom piece here. There is some movement though. I'm trying to get a good grip. If we can maintain the grip, we can wiggle it a bit more effectively, but it's not really budging. So back in with the Jobson horn now. There we go. We've got a good section. See how the whole thing started to flick forwards? That was a tough bit on the outside. Let's draw down now with the Jobson horn. Just flicked off the top. If we go back in now, we'll go over the top and try and move it again. There we go. Good size plug coming out there. I'm just going to try and get the Jobson horn in there so I can show you. There you go. You can see the lighter, stickier material around the outside and that slightly darker, harder section as well. So it's left a few little remnants behind. So we're just going to go in and tidy those up, just hoover those up a little bit. There we go. Just tidying the outside edge. It's not unusual to get these kind of little looser flaky bits, which you can see there when you get this stickier type of wax. So it's just going across and just taking those little bits away there. And there we are. There's the eardrum there, looking nice and healthy. Left side of the eardrum because the hammer bone points up to the left. Look at what we removed. It didn't look like a lot when you take it out. When you lay it out like that, so we got what, 2 and what do you want to call that, guys? 2.5 inches we'll go for. 6.5 centimeters. Some big chunks of wax came away in that that removal as well. Well guys, I really hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, don't forget to subscribe if you did as well. But if you did enjoy it, then we shall see you again on Monday at 9 PM UK time. As always, take care of yourselves and one another. Have a good weekend, guys. See you soon.